Good evening and welcome to the broadcast. Glad you are with us. We're going to be joined tonight by Colonel John Mills. We're going to talk about several things with the Colonel. More CCP pouring over the border. That's one topic. IDF strikes Hamas terror targets in East Rafah. We'll get to that. We also have Taiwan issued a dire warning about Russia-China dual threat. Then we're going to be joined by Lieutenant Colonel Tony Schaefer. He's going to give us an update on several things related to national security as well, including we're going to play a video, and this is a video about what is described as to being the most dangerous professor in America. The most dangerous professor in America. And it definitely has something to do with what's going on college campuses today. Then we're going to be joined by Garland Favorito. Garland from voterga.org joins us, along with a special guest who's never been with us before, I don't think. I interview so many people I can't keep up with all of them, but I don't think I've had him on before. But he and Garland are going viral. One of the president's ladies, Liz Harrington for President Trump, has been tweeting out video clips today of a meeting that went down in Georgia. And it has to do with vindication. Oh, you mean all those people saying, where's the proof of the problems with voter tallies and voter fraud? Yeah, there is the word being used tonight, vindication. You'll need to see these clips. We'll bring those to you, and we'll bring you two of the men that are in those clips tonight. And then Todd Bensman joins us. He has a brand new article out, and this is concerning bringing refugees from the Gaza to America. It's not just it's not just a no. I don't cuss on the air. It's not just a no, it's a blank no. I was thinking to myself, don't say the word, and I did. It's not just a no, it's a blank no. That's the title of the article. Anyway, there you go. All right, sorry, Mom. All right, joining me now is Colonel John Mills. Colonel, welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for joining us.
Sounds like you're totally out of control in the studio there, Brannon. How are you doing?
Well, the truth is I'm very exhausted tonight, very tired. I had my wife just bring me something to wake me up because I'm like, I am so tired. I'm so ready for bed right now. But I sound like an old man right now complaining, so we'll just skip over that. But anyway, I think it's due to tired. You know, this is not that I'm going to get up on my soapbox and start complaining, but this is a 7-day-a-week job. What people don't realize is I'm on the air 6 days a week, and on the Saturday when I'm not on the air, I spend the whole day studying and getting ready. So after a couple weeks, I need a day off because I start getting a little punchy.
There's supposed to be a day of rest in there, Brannon. What happened?
I know, but Sunday morning, I'm up with General Flynn, 9 o'clock with in the skiff, and then the Worldview Report, and then my own church service Sunday night. It's just crazy, I know. But after a while, it catches up with you, and the older I get, the more it starts catching up with me. So anyway, there you go. I had to come up with something to say as to why I said that word. But anyway, go ahead. That's live television. How are you doing tonight, Colonel?
I am doing great. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. So what are we going to talk about first?
Well, let's talk about this right here. How about this one? Taiwan issued dire warning about Russia-China dual threat. There you go.
Well, what is interesting there?
Now all of a sudden you sound like you're back 2-3 rooms behind me.
Okay, how's that?
Now you're back.
Okay.
It's like one of those cartoons where the character runs away and then comes back and then runs away and comes back. Okay, I got you now.
Well, okay. So Lieutenant General Cruz, who's the commander of Defense Intelligence Agency, now this is where I think the real headline here is the intelligence community is catching up with reports we've been talking about, because his report was China and Russia are coordinating on Taiwan.
Yeah, that's the headline.
Coordinating on Taiwan. Well, between you and me and the Committee on Present Danger China, that's old news. So it's good to see that the Defense Intelligence Agency is catching up with reality and what's going on. Yeah, I mean, it's clear that Russia and China have been coordinating flights, because there have been a number of times over the last few years where you had Chinese long-range bombers coordinating with Russian long-range bombers and fighters over the Sea of Japan, over the Yellow Sea, and clearly this was about preparation for conflict with Taiwan, but to go to war with Taiwan, they're going to have to hit China. They're going to have to hit Japan. They're going to have to hit South Korea. So this is, in some ways, it's a little bit of old news, but we'll give Defense Intelligence Agency credit for catching up with reality, and good to see the IC catching up with the story.
But of course, the issue for us, tonight is that Taiwan is saying, look, we got a issue here with Russia and China. They're going to come up as a dual threat. Is that implying that Russia will actually move and back up China if they move against Taiwan? So in other words, if America gets involved as soon as maybe this fall, as some are saying, with a move by China on Taiwan, are we expecting to counter Russian troops, Russian ships, Russian subs?
The Russian troops are essentially tied down in Ukraine, but the Russian naval fleet from the north and the Pacific will definitely participate, and any long-range aircraft not tied down in Ukraine will definitely participate. So this goes back to the No Limits Agreement from fall of 2021. That wasn't just about Ukraine, it was about everywhere in the world. And so, we've always been, when I say we, I mean, you and I have talked about matters like this. Committee on Present Danger China has talked about matters like this. This is an acknowledgement and the first public profession from the U.S. intelligence community that, hey, guess what? China and Russia will likely coordinate for conflict not only in Ukraine, but in the Pacific against Taiwan. So, and this, again, this puts South Korea in danger, Japan in danger. Both of them are treaty partners to America. And so we have to look at them. Will be a unified effort. And this also means that North Korea, when things cook off, North Korea will launch missiles also toward South Korea and toward Japan. And I think it's a foregone conclusion that they do have some form, don't know how many, probably a small number, but North Korea has nuclear weapons to throw in the mix here. So yeah, this is a coordinated effort. China, Russia, North Korea in the Pacific.
And how soon are you as negative?
Well,
I don't want to say negative, but
I think
Dave,
before the election they'll try something against Kinman. And somebody just sent me a report just a couple of hours ago that caught my attention, that Chinese oceanographic research vessels, i.e. spy ships, have been testing the different areas along the Philippine Pacific coast. So China and the Philippines have been tussling over Scarborough Shoals and Second Thomas Shoals. That's on the inside, on the South China Seas. On the outside, the Pacific side, the Chinese are being very aggressive with research vessels. They're essentially probing the opposite side, and they're sending a message to the Philippines that, hey, guess what? We're going to swarm you from all directions. And this has always been a concern of mine, is instead of trying a full-on assault on the Taiwan, the Philippines are much less ready, much less defended than Taiwan. Why would you land your Chinese landing force on Taiwan when you need to have the Balinese Islands, which are the Philippine Islands halfway between Taiwan and the northern island of Luzon? If I was a Chinese planner, I would say my recommendation would be to go after the Balinese Islands, which we are currently arming with long-range missiles. Go after Luzon, because you don't want American force to be solid and ready in the Philippines. Take out the Philippines, then you can take Taiwan at your leisure. So I've always been concerned about a Chinese foray into the Philippines. And then it's coming out that, guess what? It looks like the election was stolen in the Solomon Islands. For a while, it looked like the opposition candidate was going to win. But it looks like Sogavare, the pro-Chinese prime minister, it's a lot of confusion going on, but it looks like they may have held on to power in the Solomons. Surprise, surprise. Which again, that means the Chinese can just bypass Taiwan, take the Philippines, and go all the way down to the Solomons. This is very, very scary. But They are just the Chinese are. It's a full-blown swarm to test the sovereignty of all these nations.
Let's go to this next one. Here we have a Fox reporter saying, per CBP, San Diego sector of border apprehended over 200 Chinese illegals 2 days in a row. I reported on this, I think, 2 nights ago on Worldview Report, but it bears mentioning with you, a retired.
Yeah, I might want to bring this up also with Todd Bensman, but
yes.
this got my attention because this is most of the Chinese have been coming across at other places. This is directly south of, our largest Pacific naval base is in San Diego, and right along there we also have the SEAL training facility, all the SEALs. You have Imperial Outlying Field, which is a major airfield for all naval helicopters, and we have lots of naval helicopters out there. For years, there's been a mysterious Chinese radio station also operating on the Mexican side just across from San Diego, operating normally illegally, putting out at a much higher wattage than they're supposed to put out. So I think this is the first time we've seen such a large count. That's 400 Chinese right south of San Diego, directly putting our major naval base in the Pacific at threat.
Let's go to the next one. IDF strikes Hamas terror targets in East Rafah. Of course, we've been covering this with our reporter on the ground over there in Israel. I want to get your take on this real quick before I move to another video to show you.
Well, so clearly, and we've had this gamesmanship where the Biden team is, kind of waffling and maybe allowing the international court to go after Netanyahu and others. And then they're slowing the ammunition shipments, the artillery ammunition shipments to Israel. But Israel's strategy is to cut off. My understanding is they now control the Rafah Gate, which is where most of the aid was coming in through to the Palestinians. And that aid was rife with weaponry. So now the Israelis control that gate, so they can very carefully examine any aid coming across and pull out all the rockets and mortars. So they've now essentially encircled the last enclave of Hamas, which is that bottom left corner, and the aid gate into Egyptian territory. So that's what's going on, is cutting off Rafah from that Rafah gate, so they have control. So yeah, they'll let in humanity, they'll let in food, but they're not going to let in rockets hidden among the food. And that's exactly what's going on. And then, we're building the pier, which is going to be nothing but a mechanism to get Palestinians and Hamas supporters on ships to come over to America. So watch this, the pier that's being built. It's a total fraud.
Here's a video. This is what is reported today, circling within some media outlets, that Hamas has shot at, maybe killed, but certainly shot at some of the citizens of Gaza who are trying to grab some of this humanitarian aid. Of course, I wonder how much the media will circulate this. This is what, by the way, college kids are chanting and defending. This right here, what you're about to see.
لا لا يا ولاد حرامية لا يا عم لا مش لهالدرجة
مش لهالدرجة يا ريت يمسك بضارة عشان تصير تخيل وليس بدها ابناء مرتها.
And this, of course, is being reported by other outlets as well. Obviously, we can't verify the authenticity of it. We're not there, but there are other outlets showing this. Just a few tonight. I don't see the mainstream media showing that.
I don't think the video shows people that are in medical distress that have been clearly shot.
Yes.
Why wasn't anybody providing aid to them? For crying out loud, take out a handkerchief, pull off your shirt, stop the bleeding. Everybody has enough time to take a video of it, but they're not even providing aid to their own people, and we're going to let them into America. This is pathetic.
Yeah, a very good point. And look at this: the Federalist is reporting today. South Carolina agency, the feds force us to give voter registration to foreign nationals. The article says that a South Carolina law enforcement investigates allegations As South Carolina law enforcement investigates allegations, a state agency is handing out voter registration forms to foreign nationals. An agency tells the Federalists that the federal law has tied the state's hands.
I don't know what federal law they're talking about that. We need to be all over this story. This is how they're going to try to steal the 24 election. I think
they're citing Section 7 of the National Voter Registration Act of 93. I mean,
that's motor voter. That's motor voter. They're using motor voter to get illegals on the rolls. Motor voter does not say you register foreign nationals. It just says line 1 of the driving registration form. Do you want to vote? This is, I think, becoming the key voting integrity issue of 24. Is they're lying and they're using motor voter to get illegals on the rolls. That was not the purpose of motor voter, and any state that is allowing this is committing voting fraud. No, that was not the 18 U.S. code says you have to be a legal U.S. citizen to vote. That doesn't mean you being let in by the Biden team doesn't mean you're a legal U.S. citizen. This is the primary threat to our republic in the 24 election.
How concerned are you, Colonel, as we get ready to wrap here and go to Colonel Tony Schaefer? How concerned are you they're going to steal this election?
Well, I think motor voter is the biggest way. It's not even drop-off ballots. It's not machines. This time it's going to be using motor voter fraud to get them onto the rolls. And this is I've written up a point paper for the RNC, and I'm going to brief this at a national event in next week. Every state has to demonstrate that they are vetting every name that comes from the motor voter. Says you give those who are registering for a driver's license the opportunity to register. They still have to be a legal U.S. citizen. No state that I'm aware of can demonstrate a process where they are taking those names that are required by motor voter that come over from the DMV and are vetting name by name that they are a U.S. citizen before they allow them on the voting roll. So South Carolina, good for catching that. That does not, I totally reject that. And the South Carolina Attorney General should be all over this and rejecting those names. That is not what the federal law says. And if they're caving and folding in South Carolina, God help us.
And by the way, were you a Boy Scout?
I technically was not a Boy Scout, but I was part of the Explorer program, which is kind of an adjunct, and that was the Marine Corps Explorers and the Police Explorers. And
so you heard today, obviously, that the Boy Scouts of America now just going to be the Scouts of America. They want to be all inclusive.
They're a dead organization. I don't even know. I mean, they've lost so much, and Gates, after destroying the Department of Defense, was Secretary of Defense under Obama, left and went and trashed the Boy Scouts. That guy is a serial organization killer.
By the way, Colonel Mills has a show each and every day at worldviewtube.com and on patriot.tv, worldviewtube.com and patriot.tv. Colonel Mills, as always, appreciate your being with us. He also has the book, War Against the Deep State, available at waragainstthedeepstate.com, waragainstthedeepstate.com, also available at Mike Lindell's website, mystore.com. Be sure to use the code B66 for a discount. Colonel, as always, thanks for being with us.
Brannon, thank you. It's always an honor to be on your show.
You too, my friend. Colonel Mills checking in.